And our matchup is Tampa versus Anchorage, and we're going to jump straight into it. And I'm going to hand the reins off to Mr. Escargo here as we start our bands. The map is Kafe.
Thank you, Ragnar. Happy to be here. Welcome to, what is this, day 19? Day 19 of Hyper Series GG Season 3. Actually, day 20, correction. First game of the night was Tampa Bay Tidal Wave versus Anchorage Avalanche. Tampa Bay with actually a doubleheader. Right after this, they will play Anaheim, and then the final match of the night is Ottawa against Houston. In terms of predictions, okay, there we go. Now I can actually see it. Thank you. Yeah, it would be a problem if I couldn't. In terms of predictions, overwhelmingly in favor here of Anchorage, who are, I believe, 4th right now on the Western Conference. Yeah, they're 4th right now on the Western Conference, looking to potentially catch up to Vancouver here. If Tampa, who are last on the Eastern Conference, win both of their games here, which seems rather unlikely, if they win both of their games without going to overtime, they would actually jump ahead of Boston and move into the 5th spot. But, I mean, Tampa has just been a sort of a mess of a team. They don't seem to have a whole lot of coordination. I haven't seen Anchorage in a while, but I do remember them as a rather aggressive, ranked-like team. Anything else you'd like to add, Ragnar? Anything you want to add for these bands?
Typical bands, honestly, for Kafe, the Azami, the Ace band. A lot of teams ban these out. The Solus band, Jaeger band. Yeah, pretty much your typical team bands coming out for both sides of the teams for a Kafe map. Azami's very powerful here, so is Solus. So be interesting to see. We have not seen this Tampa roster play on this map, but we have seen Anchorage on this map, just not with this lineup. So be interesting to see if they show up like they did when they've lost on this map, or show up like they have when they won on this map, and only time will tell.
Indeed. So, still some question marks there.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
For a bit of extra context, really, last time that we saw Tampa, back on day 16, they ended up losing 7 to Vancouver.
Bomb located by attackers.
And the last time that we saw Anchorage back all the way on day 13, where they lost 7-3 to Boston. So, just some interesting parallels there between the two teams that are directly above each of these sides now. And so, be a cocktail and bar hold here from. Trying to make sure that I get
10 seconds left before insertion. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's from
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
From Tampa. And, I mean, so far, just a rather standard hold. Nothing too surprising that I've seen. I'm curious to see how Anchorage picks this apart, but a very interesting choice in the Amaru. Any thoughts about this Amaru pick from ISO, Ragnar?
It's interesting seeing it on ISO. He has played more of a support role on the side of Anchorage, but nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see if they're going for more of a faster take here on the side of Anchorage.
They very well might be. They could also be looking for some vertical here. They do have that buck. I do find it interesting that the Amaru is present, considering that there's all those windows into Whitehall and into particularly Cigar. They might be looking for some sort of take that's quicker on a Cigars. That'll be GZ, already dead at the hands of, I'm gonna probably mess up these names, I'm sorry, Kiri here, the Dokubi, lays on the wall with the MK14 for a good opening crackdown for Anchorage, and already that's gonna be Bowl? I'm sorry, folks, I don't know exactly.
Throwing frag grenades.
Teams are trying to hold on the line really at Cigar there with that shield. I think might be losing that shield soon. However, frag went out from the Yana of tear gas. Didn't take it out. I think it got ADS. There goes tear gas, courtesy of Jerry. Holding that angle there on a cigar shop, able to get the frag. Interesting to see the Fenrir in play. I'd like to ask your thoughts on that later, Ragnar. But at this point, I mean, what remains of Anchorage is already getting shredded here. It's courtesy of this Tampa defense. That'll actually bowl with a kill here on Akiri. I think Bikro as the Fenrir got a frag. onto, I think, onto Dolly there. Swinging now, Bull with a double kill, looking for a third possibly, and that'll just be Jerry with the second frag for himself. Just clearing out this
So yeah, a very aggressive lineup for the side of Anchorage, but they took it in a very slow style there for that top floor. But interesting enough, Vac's question for this play day was who's going to be the first team to pull out Mr. Fenrir, and believe it or not, it's going to be Tampa on that first round. They pulled out the Fenrir, and it seemed like it actually did have an impact on that round. We saw them pushing Pixel and managing to lose against the Frost, excuse me there. But a slower strike there is going to see the Anchorage attack kind of fall apart there, as they're more of an aggressive style team.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, I wanted to ask your thoughts about Fenrir.
Bomb located by attackers.
Reinforcing wall. Electroclaw is on. Wall secured. Stay clear of the blast zone. Magnet online.
10 seconds left. 5 seconds left.
Sure. Might have some like technical.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Dread mine active. ADS up and running.
So, at some point, Ragnar, I'd like to hear your thoughts about Fenrir. And that's a different conversation for a different moment, though, as we have now
Just a little prick.
a Kitchens hold, interestingly enough, from Tampa. Again, we're going to see that Fenrir come out. I do wonder, I mean, it's only one round in, but I do wonder if that seems to be if that's the Achilles heel for this Anchorage offense. I may be wrong. I am kind of interested in this very support heavy hold, pardon me. This very support heavy lineup for Anchorage. You have ISO as the Thatcher piece.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
I would argue that Tear Gas to support as Yana, but most people play it as Frag. That's just my opinion. And then you have Kiri as for the soft support or roam clear with the dope, and then obviously Kaons as that therm is going to be their hard push.
Tango located.
So I'm just surprised to see that, but doesn't seem to matter really, as that'll be actually even fallen pretty early. The Wamai dying is not the best start here, it seems, for this defending team for Tampa. I mean, losing those magnets, I think that's 4 or 5 that were still in his pockets, are still generating at that point. Probably not the way that they wanted him to go out, considering that's, you know, a couple of EMPs or a frag grenade, or maybe even a fuse charge or two. That's going to end up, you know, having a compounding effect really on the round. That'll be another frag there for Tear Gas. A double kill from the Iana. Just seemingly in a wrecking ball here. Now, Anchorage is rolling. They have, a minute 15 left, so not the best time situation. Daughter's going to get a frag with the fuse charge actually onto Dole. Not the way that kite went. As I was saying, just rolling through this defense here. That'll be ISO down around. Swing, look for a sec, gets the second one on Chaos. Looks for the third there on the brown stairs. Trying to find big Tear Gas in the restaurant. Looking to finish him off here. Actually traded out finally by Tear Gas. The 3K from the Yana. Looking for the fourth man, possibly. Bigro, the last one left here. And then Fenrir is going to try and take the round out. 2 seconds left, takes one. Gets the headshot onto Kiri. Looking for a second one, possibly. Going to rotate and prep. Trying to find this next player. Trying to find that next frag. However, the numbers game not in his favor here. Spots one, but not fast enough. A 4K for Tear Gas. And a round here for Anchorage. So, just a good round there for Anchorage, really. Tear Gas stepped up. Got himself a 4K, mind you. Clear out their whole roam. They rolled through that defense, which ended up allowing them sort of momentum within the round. Now, potentially a bit of momentum through rounds, as they just sort of rolled through the roam, took top floor control, took vertical, took train and mining and fireplace and such, got the hatch open, got a frag with cluster charge, which I find very intriguing. And then just got onto the site very quickly. They put the exothermic on on the freezer wall, and even though they had some difficulties
Attackers
getting
have
rid of, I
discovered
think
the
it was
location of a bomb.
I think it was GZ as the Legion. Even though they had some issues there with dealing with him, clearing him out of I think that's VIP.
Indeed, yep.
Yeah. So even though they had some issues there against him, they managed to just play the numbers game ultimately, trade him out. You know, tear gas and was sort of the stopgap because I think he could have been devastating. He could have
10
really
seconds left before
crippled
insertion.
their attack there, considering that he got 2 kills and was nearly going to get a
5
third on the
seconds
tear
left
gas
before
before tear gas got the kill. And then ultimately just the numbers game caught up to Peak really.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, the double roam there almost worked out in favor of Tampa. If maybe Jaeger had actually been able to get that kill onto tear gas, we would have saw that round go a different way, but sadly he lost that gunfight, and we saw almost Legion pull it back. And again, the Fenrir coming out pretty strong there, but in the end, it did not land for Tampa there. And we're going to see some of the same, but we're going to see Jerry up here on the Goyo.
Would be nitro kill, but he lost his nitro between last season and this. Almost takes his head off. I think that was actually one of the Anchorage attackers. I think that might have been Dalder. I may be wrong. I think that's Kiri just trying to press down red stairs, try and push him away. Probably going to be an issue here for them. That Goyo just sort of roaming around below. Does not have nitro, so probably not as much of a punitive effect if he does get intel from below. But still, having some Pokeballs on hand could allow him to set up some angles there from below and maybe get a frag or two. Certainly going to be a nuisance for them. He's already sort of vacated. Made his way back towards the objective. He is still on the second floor here, except on the opposite side. And I don't know if they know that or if they realize that. Now I'm going to have to probably worry about this castle here over on the coat check. That's going to be heaving just on cams at this point. I think one of them realizes it. Really looking for easy kills here. Aeons and Kiri taking some damage. That FNAT line goes off here. Jerry sends out a Pokeball, trying to get one here, just getting really just, I mean, surrounded here. Takes down ISO, trying to get a second one. Downs Kiri, Pokeballs him, double kill from the Goyo, looking for the third here. Has to resort to his pistol, because he does not have any ammo in his primary Addison. Swings a third, and unfortunately for him, Kaons, the headshot, trades his 2 teammates out, but probably not the most ideal ending there for Anchorage. I mean, wasted a lot of time and 2 bodies. You lose your Thermite, your Thatcher, and the Doke that roam clear and that intel that they lost, as well as obviously the EMP's very valuable utility off the board there. 45 seconds left, and they're not even on the first floor. I don't think they even have a wall here. They do still have Thermite there. They still have Kaons with the exit thermic charges, but I don't think they're going to be using those. Or well, they should. I just don't know if they're going to have time for it. Tear gas and trying to press down round stairs here towards Whiskey, towards Restaurant, towards Coke, and actually pop open this castle barricade. 20 seconds left here, and they need to make a push now. Sends it out, misses too. Oh no. They need to get on site immediately. Actually, to melee it. 15 seconds left. I think they hear it. I'm assuming Tampa hears it and needs to get ready. 10 seconds left. FNAT mine triggered. Gonna lose some vision. Bold takes down Kaons. Dalder and Tear Gas the last 2 left, trying to push through this doorway. Waiting. Eco, Bull, all lying in wait. Frags go out. Dalder takes down GZ, but ultimately traded out. They do trade themselves out. And great round win there for Tampa. And I think what really defined that round, especially in comparison with past rounds that we've seen from Tampa, you know, they just went to kitchens twice in a row. The big difference between second round and third round was that we saw, I think it was Jerry as the Goyo, actually roam. We saw 1 dedicated roamer instead of 2, who wasted a lot of time. Mind you, they didn't start actually pushing the site until about a minute left. He spent the rest of the time just sort of dilly-dallying and clearing them out. I mean, he wasted all that time. He wasted drones, obviously. He denied them some map control. And he got 2 frags. I mean, he took out the Thatcher, and he took out the Doke. Not as, I wouldn't say that's as catastrophic as losing the Thermite, but still, I mean, that's utility that he wipes off the board in just 1 fell swoop. And I don't think Anchorage had a response, really.
Yeah, that very pivotal roam by Jerry there on the Goyo, managing to get 2 kills with the pistol after he's already expended his entire ammo dump of his Vector there, and just managing to be a complete thorn in the side of Anchorage to where it's wasting time, bodies, everything involved there, and so you saw it have the major impact. They had less than a minute left to actually engage onto the site there, and it wound up going the side of Tampa.
Dropped.
So I do want to ask you,
Attackers recovered the bomb.
what are your thoughts on Fenrir? We've seen it every single round here.
I think Fenrir is definitely a team-oriented gadget. He requires a lot of micromanaging, but he is pivotal and scary for a team that utilizes him in the appropriate way. And we're going to see ISO disconnect there. So it is going to be a 4v5 for the side of Anchorage versus Tampa.
Probably not the way that they wanted this round to start. But I do agree with you on the Fenrir topic. I'm trying to see Dalder here is that Osa sets up the Talonade shield there on Cigar. I think they're just trying to really press out, or at least make GZ uncomfortable here. Goyo shields or Goyo cans going off there, sending fire throughout that side of the top floor. GZ trying to be mindful of his surroundings here. Notes the Osa shield, knows that there was a player just there. Might be looking to get the frag or to wait for somebody here. As Tear Gas gets one there, clearing out Jerry, getting rid of that top frag actually for Tampa. As well as I think their only roamer at this point. Just really minimizing his impact. Still, however, even with that opening kill, Anchorage is down a man. They're on a 4v4. They're gonna push on a Cigar here. Trying to clear out that player and watch them there. GZ as the Valkyrie hitting that FNAT mine after by they're trying to clear out at this point. Been deactivated there, unfortunately for him. Kiri trying to push forward. GZ falls back. Kiri takes one. Actually, Tyrius with a double kill on the round. And now the tide seems to be turning. A minute left here. GZ trying to potentially stop the momentum and stop the attacking team, stop Anchorage from regaining the lead, stop them sort of stealing the round from them. GZ. It's a bit of highway robbery on a Dollar with a headshot. Keevan as well on the glance glasses, trying to maybe find one here, trying to take him out. Unfortunately for him, stopped there by Kiri. A double kill and 3 kill from the Thermite of Anchorage. Puts them back to tied 2-2. Another great round, really. From Anchorage. Ragnar, your thoughts?
Sorry about that. Yep. No, seems like a very one engagement there. You had the Goyo completely out there on an island, and once he was taken out, it kind of fell apart for the team of Tampa there, sadly.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. And so now, as they do get their 5th player back, that I mean, being in a 4v5 from the start is never how you want to handle a round, but they seem to handle it rather well. I think Anchorage is finally heating up here, and they're slipping into what I remember them doing, which is pretty much just bulldozing the site. And I mean, that's what they seem to be doing best. Seems to be what they do best. Is just getting aggressive, getting in their opponent's face, in this case Tampa's face, getting those frags, especially those early frags, and just not stopping, being the freight train on the way to 7.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So 2-2. Two teams have sort of been through emotions here. Trying to figure each other out, trying to counter one another. And interestingly enough, we're actually going to see a swap off of the Fenrir, as that's Bicro. Please correct me if I'm getting any of these names wrong, folks. I'm sorry. Bikro is now as the Mira. I don't know if that's the right call here. I am quite curious to see how it is affected. ISO might be eyeing an Amaru rush here onto the objective. I don't know if that's the right
Bomb located
decision.
by attackers.
I think he's waiting for some more intel before he just Garrus right onto cocktail balcony. And he's actually going to do it. He's on cocktail balcony, trying to get rid of this Mira, and immediately shut down there by Bikro. Vector to the face for him. And that'll be Bull takes down Dollar, looking for a second one possibly. As he's just gonna be playing this key role here of Cigar. He has that sight line towards New Hatch and New Hatch drop, towards Bar, towards default, and in conjunction with the Mira window there over on Cocktail, trying to do a very basic hold here. You know, you open up Cigar, you open up Freezer or Backstore actually, put the Mira there, but by default right there, you put the other Mira actually by Cocktail onto Bar, just a real basic Mira hold. And I think that Bull is going to be a part of this defense, and Jerry's not going to be, unfortunately for him. Teargas with a double kill, the 1-2 punch, knocks out Heaven and Jerry there. Romeo goes off, courtesy of Bull. He's just trying to land the inevitable frag grenade from downtown. Teargas with a 3K now. And it's up to just Bikro and GZ to hold the line, really. Bikro on the objective. GZ on the other Mira, it seems. Teargas going to try and send out a Gemini hologram, trying to make some intel available for his team, trying to make their presence known, possibly. Bikro sends out a couple of bullets, tries to get rid of the drone, does do so effectively. Still, however, 6 drones in the possession of Teargas and the rest of Anchorage here, who are vying for a 3rd round for themselves here. Kaons loses a lot of health, courtesy of GZ stepping up, taking a bit of a play there, does some very low health here. I mean, probably one kill there against Kaons. Teargas is down, looking for the res, denied by GZ with a nitro. Kiri and Kaons against Bikro. GZ with a double kill on a Kiri. Just Kaons here on a 1v2. Now being pressured there by Bikro and closed out by GZ, a 3K from the mute, and another round for Tampa. Wow.
So yeah, another crazy there. We saw a nice dual hold for this hide of Tampa there in the form of Bikro and their E-sub GZ. You saw Anchorage and it was a 3v2 and they just didn't know how they really wanted to aggress onto this mirror. ISO went with that super aggressive Amaru rush to try to take that mirror location and just lost his gunfight immediately. So you hate to see it, but it's another round for the side of Tampa, and it'll be interesting to see if we see a 4-2 defensive half for the side of Tampa, which I don't think a lot of people would have been expecting coming into this matchup.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. Attackers have located a bomb.
I mean, that makes sense. I think you're right there. And, I mean, we're gonna see Bikro show up again here as the Fenrir, and just find it interesting that they pull out the mirror for 1 round and they win. Although I think that their success is not defined merely by the presence or absence of one operator. I think it's just right now that they've had guys pop off and make big plays. You have Jerry 1 round with a big role, getting those 2 kills, destroying drones, wasting a lot of time. Last round, it's GZ on the objective, getting 3 kills, potentially decimating and exploiting the lack of coordination that we saw from Anchorage. I mean, none of them really work as a unit. We didn't see a lot of drones. We didn't see real trades. We didn't see crossfires or anything. He basically just capitalized on them not wanting to press against the Miras and them not working as a team. So you have guys like that. You have Bull, who's just consistently getting these frags on the objective. You have, and then you obviously have the other guys contributing. But I think that's what's really leading them to these round victories, to this 3-2 situation. And mind you, I mean, the predictions here were overwhelmingly in favor of Anchorage. I mean, looking right now, it's 18-3 in favor of Anchorage. So the fact that they're up 3-2, I might be putting the catcher's curse on it here, but it's a good sign here. They're holding their own at this point. Might be a different roster, and I think that might be part of the reason why they're succeeding at this point. So another kitchen's hold here. They've been kind of Tampa's been kind of iffy here against on this site. I mean, they're what, 1 for 1, 1 for 2 maybe, and
1 for 1 on kitchen. They lost the first one closely, and then they single-handedly probably, in my opinion, got the second one. But no roamers this time around for Tampa here.
Thank you for pointing that out. I think that's important to note here. You know, so they're 1-1 on the site. The one round that they did win was courtesy pretty much of Jerry, just sitting there over by reading and getting 2 frags, wasting a lot of time, wasting a lot of utility. Daughter already killed there, however. I think Jerry might be looking to make a repeat performance here on this objective. But, I mean, a minute left. Steven is down and out, pressed in there. That'll be a double kill from Tear Gas, who's been the sort of MVP so far of this effort for Anchorage. Already has 11 kills, mind you. And he does press into quote check. He does get those 2 kills, puts his team back in the man advantage here. But again, on the same site, they're starting to run low on time. They need to be pushing soon. They need to be getting on site soon. The one round that they did when they had about a minute, over a minute, to get onto the objective. They already had vertical, they already had patches, they already had a wall with a minute left. Perfect time, but right now they need to move quickly. Oh no, Bull takes down Fury there. Back to the numbers, 20 seconds left, no diffuser. Jeezy gets the headshot out of Tear Gas. Up to just Kaons and say less. ISO might be looking for a frag at this point. Low time, however. Kaons stuck in the FNAT line, gonna rotate around to Bakery side, trying to get something to happen here. Low time though, no diffuser, and almost no frags there. Kaons runs through the fire. Pardon me, sorry, Bull. And GZ just shut him down. Trying to catch Chaos running through the fire, through the flames. Gets the easy kill and puts his team up 4-2 actually.
Yeah, so quite an interesting split there coming out for the side of Tampa. We saw them take that site 2 for 1 there after the half is said and done. And surprising enough, they switched up how they held that kitchen, and it almost seemed like it worked even better out for them. They got the opening frag even after Fuse had already expended all of his utility almost at that point. So not a huge loss on the side of Anchorage there. He's already gotten his job done, but still that opening frag, and they take the round with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately I think we saw just Anchorage waited far too long to push.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
They didn't have to, I mean, there was no roam, as you pointed out, so they didn't have to waste time on clearing the roam, but even without the roam, their Anchorage just suffered. Really, I mean, they couldn't get any frags really, and they waited until sort of the last second to really push onto the objective. They need to be speeding up the approaches here, because it seems as though a lot of these Tampa defensive holds that we saw were rather utility heavy, rather, you know, requiring a lot more time and effort to clear than others. So I think because of that fact, they being Anchorage need to push sooner, and they're not, and so they're losing those rounds, particularly on that site against the castle hold, which does necessitate, you know, care and attention to clear. So we now see switching at half, and it's essentially been the Tear Gas show for Anchorage, but they need to have more than just Tear Gas starring. I mean, you have Sayles at 0-5, and he just left. Called him out, and he left. That is, that's unfortunate. Beakro already fragged out by Kaons, who's going to look to bring himself back to even slowly but surely. Moves off of the breadstick onto 2-5. None of the other players besides Tear Gas, mind you, are positive. I mean, Kiri's at 4, Dalter's at 2-4, and, you know, ISO before he left was 0-5. They need to have guys at least breaking even, if not going positive. They can't just have Tear Gas getting all the kills for you. You know, can't rely on just one man to carry the mountain. And GZ taking a bit of damage. I think he might be dealing with some pressure from one of the members of, of
Anchorage. Bull, I think, waiting to drop towards Cigar here. Gonna have to deal, however, with Kiri, who's holding the shop side. With that ADS, with the M5. That'll be Bull, I believe, dropping on his Cigar. Looking to get that wall open now. Gonna stuck him between a rock and a hard place here. Gonna send down that exothermic charge. Will, I think, set it up? I'm not 100% sure. Might be jammed, though. Twitch drone goes out there. Courtesy of Jerry. Does end up getting shotgunned out by Kiri. Kiri's sort of probably going to be the key piece of this Anchorage defense here. Looking down the Cigar shop side, looking to get some frags, looking to waste some time, looking to waste some utility. I think Dalter now maybe rotating towards that area, looking to get frag for himself. Bull falls. He even trades out Kiri there. GZ takes down Dalter. 2v3 now. Man advantage falls in favor of Tampa. Wow. I mean, Kiri got rid of the thermite, but they've now lost control of Cigar Shop essentially free here. Kaons might be looking to sort of slide over and cover for where Kiri was. Tear gassed down and out courtesy of Jerry there. And now Kaons looking to maybe bring this back. Does take down GZ very low, however. A strong gust of wind might be able to take him out at this point. Gonna try and just push out of washroom, trying to get the frag. Heaven looking for the plant. Jerry covering through that long angle through rotate. Heaven gonna probably stick it here. Jerry covering, waiting for the swing from rotate from Whitehall side. Kaon's gonna try and solve this problem here. Outnumbered, very little utility. Post plant needs to make a play. Needs to make something happen here. I think Heaven trying to hold it from below generally does not work, but he might be looking to make it happen. Lights up Heaven like a Christmas tree. Wow! Don't think Heaven was prepared for that at all. Might have just been a lucky wall bang there nearly for Heaven. Don't know if Kaons realizes it, but still Jerry holding this angle here. Low time, needs to press now, needs to get that diffuser now, and unfortunately for him, not enough time here, so might as well just preserve the KD. Jerry pushes in, gets killed by Kaons, but Kaons knows at this point, no way that they're winning that site, and unfortunately for him, goes 5-2 in favor of Tampa.
Yeah, indeed. So we saw Anchorage sadly lose one due to disconnect there again. So looks like they're having a little bit of technical issues going against the side of Anchorage. But again, we saw Tampa manage to steam and take it out there. We saw out of nowhere some picks taken up by the form of GZ, and I believe it was Heaven, opening up that Cigar side, which allowed Tampa to actually take more map control, which is what they were looking for. And with that map control, they were able to isolate the last two defenders and easily lock out the attack there.
Gotta agree with you there, Ragnar. I mean, ultimately just able to play the numbers, really. You know, Jerry wasted a lot of time holding that angle. I think part of it was also just that I think it was Kaons as the Frost sort of dilly-dallied or twiddled his thumbs, whatever synonym, whatever idiom you wish to use. Just sort of didn't really get after it, and unfortunately for him, didn't finish off Heaven, not sure exactly how to pronounce it. Sorry if I'm just constantly butchering his name.
10 seconds to insertion.
So, just unable to really play against that 1v2 post plant. Didn't really make the right calls, and ultimately just didn't have full intel and such. So just unfortunate ending here for Anchorage, who went from being the heavy favorites to now down 5-2. I don't know what has happened exactly. Ragnar, any thoughts quickly? Or just any thoughts in general about why we're seeing such dominance?
I will say Anchorage, at least in Hyper, has not played in a minute. It's been quite a few play days since we've seen them on the field. I can't even remember the last time they actually played and who they played. That being said, maybe it's just Russ. Like you don't. I know they are playing with an E-sub in the form of Tear Gas, but he is definitely not holding them back as a form of E-sub. I feel like this game would potentially be a 7-0 if Tear Gas was not in the lobby for them. So that being said, we really need to see the starting lineup of Anchorage step up, as they did pick up some new people in this lineup that are playing. Kiri who was traded and picked up from my team itself, Boston. He's in there for them, and the second with kills on the leaderboard here for him. So we definitely need to see him step it up more with tear gas, hopefully be able to pull something out. And we're going to immediately have the freezer wall open for Tampa in a minute 40 left, and Jerry going to have an opening kill with a nade into bunker.
The Jokic splash there onto Kaon's. And ironically enough, you mentioned your team Boston. They actually were the last team to play Anchorage all the way back on day 13 or 14. Beat Anchorage 7-3 actually. I think tear gas trying to hold down the line here, and accompanied by Kiri's swing. These players over on whiskey. I think that's actually Bull and Heaven. I might be wrong here. Actually taking a lot of damage there. Lower Heaven just a tad, but lost most of his health in the process. Bull down, not out, however, here. Over by that freezer side, I think looking for the res here, just gonna back away and try and save himself for another gunfight here. 50 seconds left, however. Tampa need to get moving against this castle hold. I mean, it's essentially the same hold that we saw earlier, actually from Tampa. Beakro falls in the hands of tear gas, who brings it back to even now. Tear gas probably going to be the key part of this hold here, holding down Kochek, able to actually play pretty much any angle that Tampa decides to push, but needs to stay alive right now. And no Doc or Thunderbird to help him. GZ takes down one. Kiri will trade him out, however. 3v3 situation. 20 seconds left. Time is the friend right now of Anchorage. They just need to hold down the line for a bit longer here. Swung. Kiri just takes his head right off there. Jerry gets the frag. Just Dalder here. Dalder actually killed there, courtesy of Jerry, or Heaven, pardon me. And now ISO, the last one left. Low time now. Heaven looking for the plant now. All he has to do is just deny him and stay alive. And no, Jerry stops him right in his tracks with less than 2 seconds left, 1 second left. ISO turns around, or Jerry turns around, mind you, and kills ISO, just gets that frag right when it's needed. And unfortunately for ISO and the rest of Anchorage, they're now down 6-3 here, 6-2, sorry.
Yeah, so we saw ISO almost managed to pull out the... Oh, why is that like that? That is weird.
I don't know. That's strange. I don't know why that's happening.
We do have a timeout for the side of Anchorage. I'm not sure. I've never seen that. Maybe that's because of the update. Something that came out with the update that recently came out this past Tuesday. That being said, Anchorage's last play that you mentioned was against Boston, and it was actually on this map, believe it or not. So we're seeing almost the same lineup or scoreboard come out for the side of Anchorage. That one, they didn't have some of their starting lineup here playing, and again, they don't, but they do have some people that were missing for that match. So interesting enough, it's quite a surprising turnout for the side of Tampa. I don't know if it's just the new pickups that they have picked up. I do know Jerry was a new pickup for them, and he showed up big time for him in the Las Vegas game, but wasn't able to make that a win for them. And this time around, it looks like they might be able to actually manage to get that win, as we have currently tear gas leading for 12. And it's actually going to be the E-subs for both teams leading with the kills on both sides of the teams. We have GZ with 11 for the side of Tampa, and we have tear gas with 12 for the side of Anchorage. So quite interesting enough, it's the E-subs putting in some heavy lifting here, which all the teams left in Hyper Series are going to have to start figuring out their rosters for the ones that are going to make it to playoffs, as E-subs will not be allowed in the playoffs. So that will be adding a little bit of wrinkle for some of these teams that have potentially, as some people might want to say, only won because they've had the E-sub power on their side.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a big question for these teams, and I mean, to put it simply, I think this kind of exemplifies part of the reason why I believe Anchorage is losing this bad. So Teargast, as you mentioned, their E-sub has 12 kills. He's 12 and 6. Between the remaining four players for Anchorage, they have a combined 13 kills. 4 players have almost as many, barely more kills than their top frag. That is not how you want to be really handling the workload. That's not how you want to have your players KDs and such. I mean, it's not good. none of the members of Anchorage besides the E-sub, besides Tear Gas, have a positive KD right now. I mean, 2-6, 6-7, 1-5 or 1-6, and
Just-
4-6.
Just to make a little correction, Tear Gas is not an E-sub. He was actually picked up, so he is a rostered player. So the only E-sub in the game is GZ on the side of Tampa. That's my mistake. I thought Anchorage had called for an E-sub, and that was the only name I hadn't recognized from their roster. So that's on me.
Okay, thank you. But definitely a wise pickup, especially considering that right now he is essentially the only reason that they have 2 rounds at this point. I mean, the rest of the team, as I mentioned, just not going positive, not getting a whole lot of kills, not winning these real key gunfights. And they just seem right now sort of outclassed here by Tampa, which is surprising to say. And I mean, I think Tampa looking to put this away right here, right now. GZ takes down 1, traded out by Tear Gas there. Kiri now dead. And the top frag, unfortunately, for Tampa of GZ been killed here. I think Tear Gas gonna send on the glance, puts down Bull there. Whoa. And a 4v3 situation now for Anchorage, gonna try and get another frag here. And mind you, a reminder for those of you at home, right after this, Tampa has another match, mind you. So back-to-back here, looking to get some real wind in their sails, get some points for themselves pretty easily and quickly, maybe save their stamina per se, and really boost their morale, as they will be, after this, facing, I think, 5th seed in the West here. Will be facing the Anaheim Allegiance, that is correct, 5th seed in the West at this point. So just looking to really keep the morale up, keep these rounds going. Tear Gas takes down Jerry, 2v3 situation. Tear Gas gonna continue to be the real issue here. Gets a 3rd kill, mind you, onto the cigar side. And 4K ace, actually, from Tear Gas. My apologies to Tear Gas, who just says, "You shall not pass." Channels his inner Gandalf to just decimate the Tampa attack there while holding down Cigar and Washroom.
Yeah, indeed. So we definitely saw a linchpin hold there from Tear Gas on that Warden. He was an immovable rock that the Tampa tidal wave could not wear down or break through. They just kept trying to beat against the shore, and the shore did not give.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
One sec.
So we're going to be seeing Anchorage go back downstairs to where they almost had ISO clutch it in the last dying seconds of the round, but Mr. Jerry, who's been showing up big time for Tampa tonight, was able to land his shots onto ISO and knock him out there in the last dying seconds of the round.
Yeah.
5 seconds left before
I mean, as Ragnar put it, I mean, this is for all the marbles here. Dollar and the rest of Anchorage need to be getting these kills, need to be getting these rounds. They're down 6-3. They have very little room for error. If they lose this round, it's over. And they need a side sweep, essentially. Starting from this site. They need to win this site. They need to win whatever second floor site they pick. Then they need to go back to top 4 and win that one. And then they go to overtime.
Somewhat of the same hold coming out, but we are seeing the echo come out for Canyons here. So maybe with that dying seconds of the round, they can actually get another hold here and push this game potentially to OT here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're just going to try and push overtime. Still plenty of room, really, for Tampa to put this away. But I'm sure the sooner that they want to put this away sooner rather than later, sort of preserve their stamina, per se, and get ready to get to the next match. You see GZ trying to press forward, trying to get rid of, I think that's, might be Tear Gassed, actually, in that code check side. Maybe Kaon's not exactly sure who that is. But at this point, just trying to really keep the hopes alive. I think is the goal here for for Anchorage. Frag prepped. GZ ready to throw it. Sends it into code and takes down Chaos. The Echo out of the round, unfortunately, loses some intel, loses some plant denial. As no one able now to control really those Echo drones. Kiri takes down Bull, looking for a second double kill from Kiri here, looking for the third possibly. He's just sort of running his way through this Tampa attack. Jerry takes down Teargast and takes out 17-7, mind you, the top frag by head and shoulders above the rest of Anchorage. But at this point, just have to rely on that supporting cast, it seems, of Daughter, Kiri, and Saylas ISO. GZ takes a bit of damage here. ISO trying to really just say the buck stops here. GZ takes down Kiri. And now, as Teargast leaves the game, oh no, it might be for the last time, that'll be Beakrow and GZ close this out for Tampa 7-3. A big upset here.
Big upset for the side of Tampa Tidal Wave. They're going to be walking away with those full 3 points and the chance to walk away with 6 on the day. Anchorage is going to continue their losing streak, sadly, in Hyper Series.